In my country, the deepest honor is not the feast, but the promises kept across the table.
But no one in that room knew her name 30 minutes earlier, or that she was there to clean floors. At 5 a.m., a janitor's closet behind the conference center, Mikhail Voss coughed into a rag, staring at the dark stain.
Papa, you promised to rest. Drink this before the pills. Tea is good. But today, the ministers will drink only bitterness. I heard their talks are stuck on a single word, a phrase about honor. I read the briefing note left on a desk.
She found the note last night, crumpled in a bin. The words honor and shame circled in red. By 6 a.m., the first official cars pulled up, their flags limp in the rain.
Anna, you have that look again, the one that wants to fix the world. Leave it to the diplomats. But sometimes, the world wants to be fixed by those who listen from the hallway, not those who sit at the table.
Inside the summit room, Ambassador Mercer opened with a formulaic phrase about building bridges. The air was brittle with mistrust.
The guest must bear his own weakness.
Minister Tursinov stiffened. The phrase he had used, "The host's shame is heavier than a mountain," was a gesture of welcome, not a slight.
This is an insult to my nation. I did not come here to be mocked. Julia, what did you just say? Fix it. Now.
Outside the door, Anna was pushing a cleaning cart. She heard the Kazakh phrase through the crack and stopped.
Ayb konakta emes. Uda, the shame is not in the guest, but in the home. She completely reversed the meaning.
The minister stood, his aide gathering the folders. The American team sat paralyzed.
We will resume when your interpreters learn our language.
Anna, you've got that look again. What happened?
Before Anna could reply, the summit door swung open hard. Ambassador Mercer stormed into the corridor, his voice ragged.
Does anyone here speak Kazakh? Anyone at all?
My daughter, sir. She speaks both languages fluently. Let her try.
The cleaning girl? We need a qualified interpreter, not a janitor's child.
She grew up listening to diplomats through these walls. She knows more than you think.
Get her in here. But if she embarrasses us further, you are both out.
Anna stepped into the silence. The delegates eyed her plain uniform with open disdain.
Minister, the phrase means the host bears the weight of welcome. It was an honor, not an insult.
The room went stone still. Julia's face drained of color. She had gotten it exactly backwards. Anna stood in the center of the room, in her janitor's clothes, and waited. Tursinov's hand stayed on the door frame.
In our language, the host's shame means I have not honored you enough. It is an apology for any lack, not an accusation.
You speak as my grandmother would have. She always said the guest is a gift, not a burden.
Tursinov let go of the door and walked back to his chair. The room exhaled.
Continue, Miss Voss. Translate everything from now on.
In the interpreter booth, Julia pressed her lips into a thin line. Her career was dissolving in front of her.
The minister proposes mutual recognition of agricultural safety certifications. This would allow faster border inspections.
We can agree to that in principle. Mark it as tentative progress.
Aides scribbled notes. For the first time in hours, something was being signed, even if it was small.
She's making me look incompetent, and the ambassador is letting it happen.
Outside, Mikhail pressed his ear to the door. A small smile crossed his worn face before a cough doubled him over. For 2 hours, Anna bent words like a glassmaker. She diffused a threat hidden in the minister's phrasing.
The minister says his farmers need a minimum purchase commitment, or the deal is hollow.
We can offer a 5-year volume floor, but the numbers must be reciprocal.
During a coffee break, Julia cornered Mercer in the doorway. Her voice was a needle drawn from wounded pride.
Ambassador, that girl has no clearance. She could be anyone. This is reckless.
She's doing the job, but I will look into it. Don't undermine me again.
Anna slipped away to the closet. Mikhail sat on a crate, hand to his ribs, an empty pill bottle beside him.
Papa, you missed your dose. I can't keep running back here.
She shook 2 tablets into his palm and watched him swallow. His skin was gray. When she returned, Mercer's gaze was stone, and a new clause, agricultural quotas, lay unsigned on the table. Anna's pen stopped at a footnote in the draft. The Kazakh phrase was too careful. It meant something else.
This clause allows either party to reassess the agreement's spirit after 6 months. In Kazakh, that word voids the entire deal.
A janitor lectures us on contract law? This is absurd.
Let her speak. What evidence do you have for this interpretation?
The verb kaita karau in legal Kazakh implies unilateral exit. Your own trade ministry uses it in revocation letters.
You are a cleaner. You know nothing of our legal code.
I know that verb. Eidos. Did you insert this?
If the clause is misread, we need clarification. But I can't accept accusations from an unvetted source.
We will break for the evening. My legal team will review this. We resume at 9.
The gavel tapped. The document sat unsigned. Anna's name was now written in Eidos's memory as a threat.
Your services are no longer required. Julia is lead interpreter now. Your lack of clearance is too great a risk.
Anna pulled off her headset and set it gently on the cleaning cart. She didn't give him the satisfaction of a reaction. Inside the summit room, the hardliner Stephen Rowe slammed an open palm on the glass table.
We will not be dictated to by a nation that can't even protect its own borders.
You dare speak of borders while your farmers dump subsidized grain on our markets. This is not negotiation, it is abuse.
In the corridor, Anna's hands trembled on the mop handle. She could hear the deal dying through the door.
My daughter, you didn't spend all those years studying conflict mediation to mop floors. They don't want a janitor's child at the table. I am invisible to them. Invisible. You showed them a truth they couldn't see themselves. And now he's about to walk out again. Look.
Through the glass, Anna saw Tursunov push back his chair, the Kazakh delegation rising. Her hand found the door handle, and she pushed it open. The door swung wide. Anna walked into the silence, and every head turned toward the interloper in the janitor's uniform.
Minister, my grandmother used to say, patience is the thread that sews torn silk back together. Truth is the needle.
That was my grandmother's proverb. Where did you learn it?
From my father, who cleaned these halls for 30 years. And from studying your legal lexicon, kaita karau can also mean mutual guarantee when framed with honor.
The room froze. Rose's fist unclenched. Julia leaned into her mic, but Tursunov's hand cut the air like a blade.
This is outrageous. She has no standing.
Let her finish.
The minister offers a joint oversight committee, not a loophole. A structure that protects both harvests and keeps promises across the table.
If you can draft the language, we'll explore it. But I am not promising anything.
Mercer's aide opened a new document. The summit was alive again, barely. But Anna knew the real clock was still ticking. Anna and Eidos bent over the clause. Her pen offered. His slashed. Cooperation tasted like iron.
Use or tak kapildik. Mutual guarantee. It binds without shame. That is our tradition.
I will put the words on paper. But do not think this makes you one of us. Accept her wording and Parliament will call you a puppet. The Americans will see you as weak.
Tursunov looked at the new language, then at Anna. The guest proverb sat heavy in his throat. Anna's phone buzzed against her thigh. Once, then again. The message read, Papa collapsed. Hospital. Come now. Anna's hand tightened on the phone. Her face turned to stone, but her eyes flicked to the door. In the ICU, Mikhail's chest barely rose. A nurse held her phone, waiting for an answer.
If I leave now, the deal dies. If I stay, he might die alone. Is he conscious? Tell him I am on my way.
The nurse's voice was strained. He's stable, but he keeps asking for his daughter.
Papa, I'll be there soon. Just hold on.
She ended the call and walked back to the summit room. The delegates were rising for a short recess. In the corridor, a junior U.S. diplomat exclaimed, "You are that mediator from Georgetown, the one who turned down a State Department post."
A degree from Georgetown? She studied mediation?
Anna stepped back into the room. The air had changed. Eyes no longer saw a janitor. Eidos's glare followed her. The girl he had insulted was a trained conflict mediator, somewhere in a small apartment. A framed diploma from Georgetown hung on a wall, summa cum laude. The recess bell rang. When they returned, the rules of the table would be rewritten. The session resumed, but the true negotiation had already happened in the hallway. Eidos broke the silence.
You studied at Georgetown. You trained for this. Why mop floors?
Because my father's heart is failing, and no one else would sit with him. I gave up a diplomatic career to keep him alive.
That is a weight I understand. I am sorry I called you a cleaner.
He bowed his head. The room held its breath. Julia shrank in her booth. The girl she had tried to destroy had just been crowned by the minister himself.
Miss Voss, I owe you an apology. I let protocol blind me. Please, step in as interpreter. Help us finish this.
I will. But when we sign, I run to the hospital.
She put on the headset and faced the table. The clock showed 9:03 p.m. The summit had found its voice, and it was the daughter of a janitor. Anna caught Mercer's arm in the corridor, out of earshot from the aides.
You would have let them throw me out this morning. I know what Julia told you.
I was cautious. This is a diplomatic operation, not a classroom.
Then here are my terms. My father gets full embassy medical coverage and a lifetime pension through your staff program.
That's impossible. That program is for career staff, not janitors.
He cleaned these floors for 30 years. He is more staff than anyone in that room.
She pulled a folded note from her pocket and pressed it into his palm.
Those are the program codes you'll need. You have until the end of the day to make the impossible possible.
She walked back into the summit room without looking back. Mercer stood frozen, the note crumpling in his grip. The summit clock ticked. A new, silent negotiation had begun outside the room. Mercer walked back into the summit room. His step was slow, his jaw set. A leather folio was tucked under his arm.
Miss Voss, your father will get the coverage, but the terms are non-negotiable.
Name them.
Close the deal by midnight. Every clause, every signature. If you fail, this offer is void. No pension, no insurance, no references.
I'll want that in writing. Not your word, your signature.
Mercer opened the folio. Inside was a single page, pre-typed. The terms were cold as surgical steel. She read every line, then she signed. The pen scratched across the bottom line. Her name, then his. The clock on the wall struck 7:42 p.m. 4 hours and 18 minutes until midnight. The wager was locked. She would either seal the deal of her lifetime or lose everything her father had worked 30 years to protect. Anna uncapped a marker and drew 2 linked circles on a blank sheet. The words Oversight Committee cut through the noise.
2 members each. Rotating chair. No one controls. Both guarantee. It's the only way.
No shared power. The United States does not sit as equal with...
A rotating chair respects both flags. I could accept that.
Anna's phone buzzed again. 3 missed calls. She silenced it without a glance.
If we give an inch, they'll take a continent. No committee, no deal.
The alternative is no deal at all, Mr. Rowe. Midnight is approaching. Your choice. Decide now.
Mercer's eyes flicked to the clock. He nodded. Draft the committee language. We'll vote. Eidos leaned toward Tursinov, but the minister raised a hand. The framework was taking shape. Another call. The phone pulsed red against her hip. She pocketed it, jaw tight. The clock showed 9:23 p.m.
My father told me of Khan Ablai, who saved his people from starvation by sharing power with 3 rival clans. He called it Khan's wisdom. He sat them at his table, gave each a voice, and said, "Pride is a cold dinner. Together we eat."
Tursinov's eyes glistened. He placed a hand over his heart. Rowe opened his mouth, but the silence was heavier. He looked away, his fist unclenching slowly.
Eidos, she reminds us who we can be. The Oversight Committee. We will sign it.
Then we have a framework. Let's put it to paper before the clock runs out.
The room exhaled. Aides passed fresh pages. The oversight clause was inked in tentative script. The clock read 10:15 p.m. Anna's phone rang again. The nurse's name blinked on the screen.
He's crashing. Put him on. Papa, I am here.
The nurse's voice cracked. He's asking for you, the doctor says. Not long.
Papa, can you hear me? I am trying to save a deal that will help us both. Please hold on. Don't come, Anna. This is your moment. Prove them wrong. I am so proud of you.
The line went quiet. Anna pressed the phone to her forehead. Tears dropped onto the screen. She turned, walked back into the summit room. Her face was wet, but her jaw was set like iron.
I am not leaving this table until the ink is dry. Let's close it, now.
You have my word, Miss Voss. We will not waste your sacrifice. Expedite the final draft.
Legal move. I want full text in 30 minutes. We finish tonight.
Aides sprang from their chairs. Pages flipped. Pens scratched. The room condensed into a single urgent purpose. Anna translated without pause. Her voice, the quiet engine of the room, holding both sides together. The clock struck 10:58 p.m. The wager was aflame, and only the final terms remained. The final draft lay on the glass table, each page crisp, each clause hard-won. Stephen Rowe rose. He lifted a single sheet, scrawled in the break. A last-minute rider.
I move to add an intellectual property annex, exclusive U.S. control over any joint patents.
Then you'll have to explain why the 2014 Philippines deal, which you personally approved, uses the same language. The IP framework is already protected. The committee structure we just agreed to handles disputes.
Mercer's eyes flicked from the tablet to Rowe. The ambassador had been outmaneuvered by a girl who should never have been at the table. Rowe slumped into his chair. He hurled his pen across the table. The gold cartridge skittered to a stop in the center of the table. No one retrieved it. Mercer nodded. He and Tursunov took up their pens. Anna signed below the translation block, her hands steady. The clock struck 11:48 p.m. 12 minutes before midnight. The document was initialed. The wager was nearly won. In a side room with champagne flutes and 2 flags, Mercer and Tursunov signed the final copies. Cameras flashed. Anna stood at the edge of the frame, the ink not yet dry on her wager. Her eyes tracked the second hand of the wall clock. The ambassador raised a glass, but Anna was already sliding through the service door.
Miss Voss, wait, the photo.
She didn't look back. The rain swallowed the call. 23 minutes later, her shoes slapped the wet linoleum of the ICU corridor. A nurse pointed. Anna pulled on the plastic gown and stepped through the sliding glass doors. Mikhail lay with wires across his chest, a mask over his gaunt face. His eyelids fluttered.
Did you do it? Did you? Close the deal? Midnight deadline. We signed at 11:58. You are covered, Papa. You'll never have to worry again. I always knew you gave up everything for me. The State Department, your own life. I am sorry, my girl. Papa, no. You gave me everything. The languages, the stories. I chose you. Then choose yourself now. Promise me you will take the door this has opened.
She squeezed his fingers and nodded. No more words were needed. A sparrow landed on the windowsill, the first gray light of dawn behind it.
Look, a new day. It belongs to you now.
The door opened softly. A doctor stepped in, a chart in her hand, a cautious smile on her face. She nodded toward the monitor. Mikhail's vitals were rising. The crisis was turning.
Did you hear that, Papa? You are coming back to me. I told you. Pride is a cold dinner. Together we eat.
Anna kissed his forehead, the taste of salt and gratitude on her lips. The janitor's daughter had kept her promises. The next morning, the hospital room was filled with quiet sunlight. Ambassador Mercer appeared in the doorway, a leather envelope in his hand.
Miss Voss, I hope I am not intruding. I wanted to deliver this personally.
He handed her the envelope. Anna opened it with steady fingers. Inside were 2 documents. The first page was the medical coverage approval, stamped and signed. Her father's care was secured.
He'll never have to worry again. Thank you, Ambassador.
The second page is for you. A formal offer to join the diplomatic corps. Cultural attaché, junior grade.
Anna glanced at her father. Mikhail, pale but alert. gave a small nod.
It is your time, my girl. Sign it.
Anna picked up the pen from the bedside table. She signed her name below the offer, her hand steady. The wager was won. The janitor's daughter had closed the deal and claimed her own seat at the table. 3 months later, Vienna. The conference center gleamed with morning light as Anna approached. She climbed the grand staircase. A janitor polishing the brass rail reminded her of her father. She touched the badge on her lapel. Anna Voss, cultural attaché. Inside the summit room, she took her seat at the long table. No longer the outlier. The other delegates settled in. She opened her leather folio, her heart steady. When the first formal phrase was spoken, she leaned forward. The room quieted.
This is where I belong, not in the hallway.
She rose to her feet, and before she spoke, she saw the faces waiting. The room held its breath. No one in that room knew she had ever cleaned floors, but they all leaned in. Back in Geneva, on the desk of her new office, a framed photograph sat beside the phone. Anna and Mikhail. In a garden, his color returned, her arm around his shoulder, both laughing. On the wall above, her diploma hung beside a new Kazakh flag pin in a small box frame. She kept both things from the day she crossed over. The pin from Tursinov, and the name tag she wore as a cleaner. Down the corridor, the janitor's closet stood empty, polished, clean, and silent. On the shelf, beside a half-empty bottle of cleaner, lay her plastic name tag and the Kazakh pin she never forgot. Not a memorial, but a receipt, proof that she had been there and that she had moved on. Sometimes the ones who listen from the hallway are the ones who change the room, and the room, forever changed, would never be closed to her again. The door stayed half open,